Yes, there are indeed wire nuts specifically designed and rated for splicing number 6 American wire gauge, or AUG, wire. You can typically identify these by their distinctive red color, although color coding can sometimes vary by manufacturer, so it is always best practice to double-check the specifications printed on the wire nut itself to confirm its suitability for number 6 wire. These wire nuts possess a larger physical diameter and overall size when compared to their counterparts intended for smaller wire gauges, such as number 10, number 12, or number 14 wire. The increased size accommodates the greater volume of conductive material present in the number 6 wire and provides the necessary space and clamping force to establish a secure and reliable electrical connection. When selecting a wire nut for any application, but particularly when dealing with larger conductors like number 6 wire, it is absolutely crucial to verify that the wire nut is explicitly listed and labeled for use with the specific wire gauge and conductor combinations that you intend to splice. This information can be found printed directly on the wire nut's packaging, on the wire nut itself, and often in the manufacturer's product specifications or online datasheets. Using a wire nut that is not properly rated for the size and number of conductors you are joining can lead to a number of serious problems, including loose connections, overheating, arcing, and even electrical fires. Furthermore, it is essential to follow the manufacturer's instructions precisely when installing wire nuts. These instructions typically specify the amount of insulation that should be stripped from the wires, the number of twists required to ensure a secure connection, and the proper method for applying the wire nut. Overstripping insulation can expose too much bare conductor, creating a shock hazard or increasing the risk of short circuits. Understripping insulation can prevent the wire nut from making proper contact with the conductors, resulting in a weak or unreliable connection. The number of twists is also important. Too few twists may not provide sufficient mechanical strength to hold the wires together, while too many twists can damage the conductors or the wire nut itself. Applying the wire nut correctly involves firmly pressing the wire nut over the twisted conductors and rotating it clockwise until it is securely tightened. Avoid over-tightening, which can strip the threads on the wire nut or damage the conductors. In addition to using the correct wire nut and following the manufacturer's instructions, it is also important to prepare the wires properly before making the connection. This involves cleaning the conductors to remove any dirt, corrosion, or other contaminants that could interfere with the electrical connection. A wire brush or emery cloth can be used to clean the conductors. It is also important to ensure that the conductors are free of nicks or cuts, which can weaken the wire and increase the risk of breakage. If the conductors are damaged, they should be cut back to a point where the wire is clean and undamaged. When working with electrical wiring, it is always important to prioritize safety. This means turning off the power to the circuit before making any connections, wearing appropriate personal protective equipment, such as insulated gloves and safety glasses, and following all applicable electrical codes and regulations. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work. It is also worth mentioning that while wire nuts are a common and convenient method for splicing wires, they are not always the best choice for every application. In some cases, other types of connectors, such as crimp connectors or terminal blocks, may be more appropriate. Crimp connectors provide a permanent gas-tight connection that is highly resistant to vibration and corrosion. Terminal blocks offer a convenient way to connect and disconnect wires, making them ideal for applications where frequent changes are required. The choice of connector will depend on a variety of factors, including the size and type of wire, the environment in which the connection will be used, and the specific requirements of the application. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer to determine the best type of connector for your needs. To further elaborate on best practices with wire nuts, consider the following points. Firstly, always select the appropriate size and type of wire nut for the gauge and number of wires you are connecting. The packaging or the wire nut itself should clearly indicate the acceptable wire combinations. Secondly, before twisting the wires together, ensure that the ends are clean and free of any insulation. Use a wire stripper to remove the insulation carefully, avoiding nicks or cuts to the conductor. Thirdly, hold the stripped ends of the wires parallel to each other, with the ends aligned. Then, Using pliers or your fingers, twist the wires together tightly, creating a spiral connection. The number of twists required depends on the size of the wires and the type of wire nut, but generally, 3 to 5 twists are sufficient. Fourthly, after twisting the wires, push the wire nut over the twisted wires and screw it on clockwise, applying firm pressure. The wire nut should grip the wires tightly and create a secure connection. Fifthly, after installing the wire nut, give the wires a gentle tug to ensure that they are securely connected. If any wires come loose, remove the wire nut and repeat the process. Sixthly, when working with multiple wires in a junction box, arrange the wires neatly and securely to prevent them from becoming tangled or damaged. Use cable ties or other means to bundle the wires together. Seventhly, always turn off the power to the circuit before working with any electrical wiring. This will help to prevent electric shock. Eighthly, if you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, hire a qualified electrician to do the work. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take precautions to protect yourself. Ninthly, inspect wire nut connections periodically, especially in areas prone to vibration or moisture, to ensure they remain tight and corrosion-free. Tenthly, consider using antioxidant joint compound on aluminum conductors before applying wire nuts to prevent corrosion and ensure a lasting connection. Lastly, remember that wire nuts are not intended for use in wet or damp locations unless specifically listed for that purpose. Use appropriate waterproof connectors in such environments. By following these best practices, you can ensure that your wire nut connections are safe, reliable, and long-lasting. The selection and application of wire nuts might seem straightforward, but understanding the nuances can significantly improve the safety and longevity of electrical installations. Consider the different types of wire nuts available, such as those with wing designs for ease of gripping or those filled with silicone for moisture resistance. Winged wire nuts are particularly helpful in tight spaces where it's difficult to get a good grip on the standard round type. Silicone-filled wire nuts are ideal for outdoor or damp environments where corrosion is a concern. Furthermore, it is vital to be aware of the torque requirements for different wire nut sizes and wire combinations. Over-tightening can damage the wires or the wire nut, while under-tightening can lead to loose connections and potential hazards. Some manufacturers provide torque specifications for their wire nuts, which should be followed carefully. If torque specifications are not available, use your best judgment to tighten the wire nut firmly but not excessively. Another critical aspect is compatibility between the wire nut and the conductor material. While most wire nuts are suitable for use with copper conductors, some are specifically designed for aluminum conductors or for connecting copper to aluminum. Using the wrong type of wire nut for the conductor material can lead to corrosion and connection failure. When connecting copper to aluminum, be sure to use a wire nut that is specifically listed for that purpose and apply an antioxidant joint compound to the aluminum conductor before making the connection. The antioxidant compound helps to prevent corrosion and ensures a lasting connection. It's also important to consider the environment in which the wire nut will be used. In harsh environments, such as those with high temperatures, humidity, or corrosive chemicals, it may be necessary to use specialized wire nuts that are designed to withstand these conditions. For example, high-temperature wire nuts are available for use in lighting fixtures and other applications where temperatures can exceed the normal operating range of standard wire nuts. Moisture-resistant wire nuts are ideal for use in damp or wet locations, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. In addition to these factors, it's also important to consider the overall design and layout of the electrical system. When routing wires, avoid sharp bends and tight spaces, which can put stress on the wire nut connections. Use junction boxes to provide a safe and convenient location for making wire connections. Make sure that the junction boxes are properly sized and installed according to the applicable electrical codes. And last but not least, regular inspections and maintenance are essential for ensuring the long-term reliability of wire nut connections. Periodically check the wire nuts to make sure that they are still tight and free of corrosion. If you find any loose or corroded wire nuts, replace them immediately. Regular maintenance can help to prevent electrical problems and ensure the safety of your electrical system. Always prioritize safety when working with electrical wiring. It's important to have a solid understanding of basic electrical principles and to follow all applicable codes and regulations. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, hire a qualified electrician to do the work. Wire nuts, while seemingly simple, are a critical component in any electrical system. Proper selection, installation, and maintenance are essential for ensuring safe and reliable connections. Remember to always choose the right wire nut for the application, follow the manufacturer's instructions, and prioritize safety above all else. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that your wire nut connections will provide years of trouble-free service.